William Jackson.
How big was the first turnover that you got where they were on the sideline there and it looked like they were about to score and could have really, kind of built some momentum there early on, and you looked like two guys hit them and you just happened to be right there to scoop it up?
I just was in the right place at the right time. I mean, I ain't do nothing spectacular. They made the play, so I just scooped it up before it went out of bounds.
So I guess if that's not spectacular, was your interception return, does that qualify as spectacular?
I mean, it was cool, but it wasn't spectacular.
No, but how big was that one though? They're at that point, you guys are really taking off, and that one just kind of seemed to be the nail in the coffin.
It was a big momentum. It was a big one for me anyway. As long as you could get as many balls my way, so it was a great deal of me making that play.
You talk a little bit about the secondary concerns. I know the first game was pretty rough for you guys with some big plays, and the last couple games you guys seem to rebound it. Can you talk a little bit about any secondary concerns you've had, or?
Oh no, I mean we just had a bunch of errors. I mean we got better on it during the week, so it was alright. I mean I supposed to be in cover 3 and they threw the ball, so it was kind of on me, but it don't look like it. Yeah.
Anything else for William?
William, is it frustrating though that, it's kind of the same thing as last year, teams just aren't going to throw your way most of the time, but were you a little surprised maybe there that they were going that direction?
I kind of was. I mean, I just kind of baited them. I mean, I don't really get mad when the ball don't come my way because my teammates making plays, so as long as we win the game, I'm cool.
Anything else for William? Got Greg Ward.
Ward, today you had kind of a career day with 4 touchdown passes and 2 touchdowns on the ground. Can you talk a little about a career day for you here?
Gotta give it out to the offensive line, man. Without them, none of it would have been possible. And it was all a lot of preparation, man. Our practices are way harder than the game, so we just went out there and had fun today.
Greg, what has made DeMarcus Ayers such a big factor early on? This is a guy who, for a couple of years, kind of waited his turn, and now, it seems like he's become your favorite target.
I would say willpower. He's just going out and, at practice, going hard every day, and taking everything seriously. And I think he elevated his craft by learning the game more and practicing harder.
Greg, just talk about from your position what you saw early on that allowed you to pretty much run through your read progressions and then find your targets and deliver.
It was everything that we had practiced and what our scout team showed us, and we just went out and executed.
Greg, I know you haven't had a lot of time to think about this, but you move on now, start conference play. The way you guys have played the first 3 games, how do you feel going into conference and starting that part of the schedule? You guys feel like, I guess offensively, do you feel like you guys are clicking the way you want to be heading into that game next week?
We still have some things we have to fix, and this week we just have to prepare harder. Tulsa had 2 weeks to prepare for us, and we just got to come out ready on Monday and on the rest of the days.
Anything else for Greg? Got DeMarcus Ayers.
DeMarcus, you had a kind of career day out there, your second 100-yard receiving game here, first double TD game. You talk a little about what that means to you?
First off, I want to thank the O-line and Greg for making great throws tonight. But personally, for me, it means a lot just to come out here on Saturdays and make plays in the passing game for the offense and give them the extra spark that they need, and Greg is really making a lot of plays for us, and what he's doing is really helping me out tremendously. And like I said, the O-line is putting us in position to make plays on outside as a receiver.
And what about as far as you stepping up into the kind of the number one receiver role here? I know there was a void after a lot of guys left in the offseason. You can talk about stepping up into that role and the progress you've made as the number one here?
I'm embracing the role. I really enjoy coming out and playing for these guys, and with me being the oldest guy in the receiver room, I have a lot of experience under my belt, and I try to take the experiences that I had and come out every weekend and prepare myself well to put up performances like I did tonight. And the main thing for me is staying consistent and really being a leader to those younger guys, because we got some really good guys in that room, and we've made a lot of plays, and we just got to keep it going.
DeMarcus, do you like the way they, I mean, it seems like they want to get you involved a number of different ways, whether it's, kind of on in motion where they hand off to you or a receiver. Do you like that whole kind of combo role, how you're doing so far?
Yes, I love it, because it creates chaos on defense, and it gives me another opportunity to touch the ball and make plays, not just catching the ball, but running the ball out the backfield and getting the ball a variety of ways is really helping me be more of a two-dimensional player. And whatever this offense needs me to do, I'm just going to come out and try to do that every week.
As a follow-up, you had been sitting the last couple of years, or not sitting, but been behind some veteran guys. Can you take us through, was that difficult to kind of wait your turn? Because you had said since high school, this is the moment that kind of you've been waiting for.
I think I told the media the other day it was very, very mentally tough for me, but I think it helped me grow up and grow as a person, and now just to see my role increase, that's why I say I really embrace where I'm at right now, because I'm blessed to be in the position that I am. But just kind of playing that role where you're not really the number one guy, you kind of just figuring out what your role is to the team. It could be hard at times, but it's a long course of the season, and you never know what can happen. And down the road last year, I got my chances, and I ended the season well. So this year just trying to carry over and really let those guys know how that feels to be in that position, and with them stepping up, the younger guys, it's never a time where you can think where you're not going to have your moment. You just got to be prepared.
I know it's only been 3 games, but now that you go into conference, do you get the feeling that maybe people who didn't know who you were now know who you were, they play you different, or have you seen, from game 1 to now, have defenses tried to play you differently?
Yes, I think Louisville did a great job of really game planning on me last week, based off of what I did the first game. But not the team needed me to make a play in the fourth quarter. I had to step up and make that play regardless of what they were doing. But I kind of struggled last week making adjustments. But this week I got in the film room a little bit more and kind of figured out what I needed to work on. And I came out and did those things that I didn't do well last week. But they can make all the adjustments they want. If we're preparing and executing at a high level, it's going to be very hard to stop us.
Can you talk a little bit about the one touchdown pass that you had there, where you kind of tapped your feet at the back of the end zone there? It looked like a spectacular catch. Is that something you guys practice on? What are your thoughts on that catch there?
I thought it was a great catch. It's that play we practice before practice, during practice. We rep it probably 100 times a week. So for me to just come out and get that ball at the highest level and be able to tap my feet down and make a play for my teammates was a very special moment for me.
Anything else for DeMarcus? All right, appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.